So we're going to begin by loosening up, doing what's called scoops. So I want you to bring your feet hip-width apart so you have a decent base. If you're feeling a little unstable for any reason, just make your base a little wider. That'll make you feel a little more stable. And we're going to start scoops by extending one arm towards the floor, other arm goes towards the ceiling. So you're extending your arms in opposite directions. Look up at the ceiling or down at the ground, whatever feels best on your neck. Belly button pulls towards your spine. On your next inhale, switch. So one arm goes up now, the other arm goes down. Again, decide what feels best on your neck. Today, for me, it's looking down at the ground. Belly button to your spine. On an inhale, bring your arms up together. So I'm clasping my hands. Bend your knees. On an exhale, circle. Pull your belly button back. Inhale on the way up. Exhale, circle the opposite direction. Let's do that whole series again. So right arm up, left arm down. Hold. On your next inhale, switch. Left arm up, right arm down. Get a nice stretch in your side body. Inhale, hands together. Bend your knees. Exhale, circle. Belly button pulls back. Inhale on the way up. Exhale, circle. Nice. Right arm up, left arm down. We hold a lot of tension in our side body that can cause back issues. So this is a great way to stretch that out. Switch on your next breath. Strong core, belly button to your spine. Nice. On your next inhale, hands together. Bend your knees. Exhale, circle. Inhale on the way up. And exhale, circle down. Now, next time you are coming up, bring your hands into high prayer, which is just palms together up. And then on an exhale, come through your heart center and fold. Now I'm going to turn around here so you can see I'm folding with my knees bent. This is a position that helps release your lower back. So you can have a little bend or a really deep bend. You'll notice mine is pretty deep. My chest is resting on my thighs. This is how I like to do a forward fold when I want to give my back a little rest. From this position, bring your hands to your shins and lift up. So you're trying to lift your body, your upper body, so it's parallel with the floor. Exhale, fold and bend your knees. Inhale, bring your arms up, high prayer. Exhale, fold through heart center. We're going to do a few rounds of this. Knees bent. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to your shins. Belly button pulls up. And you're trying to lengthen out through the crown of your head. On your next exhale, fold. Knees are bent. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold through heart center. You're doing great. Couple more. This is awesome for your back. Inhale, halfway lift, really strong. Exhale, fold, knees bent. Inhale, come on up, high prayer. 2 more, exhale, fold. This is called a half vinyasa. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins. Shoulders pulled towards your hips. On your next exhale, fold. Inhale, come on up, high prayer. Final one, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands up, high prayer. And then bring your hands down to heart center, which means your thumbs come to your sternum. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Nice. Then from here, blink your eyes open. And bring your big toes together so they're touching. However, you want your heels a few inches apart. The key here is that when you look down, you want the outsides of your feet to be parallel. Then from this position, squeeze your knees together. That's going to tone and strengthen your inner thighs. Squat down. The further you squat down, the more intense this next pose becomes. So maybe you come all the way down so your fingertips graze the floor. Maybe that's too intense for you today. You stay up here. Once you've found your position, you're going to bring your arms up parallel with the ground or in at heart center. This is called chair pose. It's an awesome position to tone and strengthen the entire backside of your body. One thing I really want you to pay attention to in chair pose is your lower back. You don't want a big sway here in your lower back. Instead, tuck under. That's going to protect it. And then with that position in place, sit down and back. Keep breathing. At any point, if you need a break, all you have to do is just stand, shake it out, and then you can rejoin when you're ready. Down and back. Glance down. Make sure you can see your toes and wiggle your toes. So in other words, we want all our weight in our heels. Hang on if you can for 3, 2, and then stand, shake it out. Good job. Let's do another half vinyasa just to kind of clear our palate. So bring your arms up, high prayer. Exhale, fold through heart center. Inhale, hands to your shin, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand, high prayer. Exhale, hands to heart center. Excellent. Now I'm going to head to the top of my mat. So if you have a mat, do that as well. If not, just make sure you have some space behind you. We're going to do chair pose again, and then from chair move into a pose called Crescent Lunge. So once again, glance down, make sure your big toes are touching. On your next exhale, squat down. The further you squat down, the more intense this one becomes. Inhale, arms up. Check in with your lower back. Make sure you tuck your pelvis under so there's not a big sway in your lower back. Hold for one more breath if you can. And then from this position, step straight back with your left leg. This is called Crescent Lunge, where our front knee is bent over our front ankle, back leg is straight. And your hip bones are squaring to the front, just like they're headlights on a car, going straight forward. Let's bring our hands here today. So hands at heart center. Unless you're having trouble balancing, if you are, bring your hands out to a T. That's going to help you balance. One more deep breath here. And then lean forward gently, step back to the top, shake it out. Nice job. Right to the other side. So we'll begin with chair pose. Squat down. Inhale, come up. Check in with your back. Take a breath. Nice. Step straight back with your right leg. Crescent lunge on the other side. So left knee is bent over your left ankle. Right leg is straight. Hip bones squaring to the side. And from here, pull your hands in to heart center. Deep breath. One more. Lovely. Step forward. Shake it out. Awesome job. Okay, we're going to do one more round of that. Something I want you to know about Crescent Lunge is the further apart your feet are lengthwise, the more intense it becomes. So just as you're resting here, watch me quickly. Look at, if I sit back like this, see how my lunge isn't quite as big as when I step back like this? This is a much deeper lunge. So this time around, I want you to really pay attention to how long your stance is and find one where you feel challenged but still in control and like you can hold it with strength. So that being said, big toes are touching. On your next exhale, squat down, chair pose. Squeeze your knees to get your inner thighs engaged. Inhale, hands come up. Hold for a breath. Nice. Step back with your left leg, straight back. And now you're really paying attention here to the length. Do you need it to be longer than it was before for a bigger challenge? Or maybe you're getting tired, so you need a shorter length for less of a challenge. So experiment. And then once you found the length that works for you today, hold for a couple breaths, drop your shoulders. Pretend like you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans. One more inhale and one more exhale here. And then lean forward a bit. Use your abs to lift up and forward. Nice work. Shake it out. Awesome. One final set of crescent lunge. Of course, we'll do chair to start it off. So when you're ready, exhale, squat down. Inhale, arms up. Take a breath. Nice. Step straight back with your right leg. Really paying attention to the length of your stance. Give yourself permission to experiment a little bit. See what feels best. And then once you've found the position you'd like to hold, hands at heart center or out to a T for an extra balance help. Drop your shoulders. Relax your face. One final breath. Good. Hinge forward a little bit. And as you step forward, pretend like you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans so you're using your abs. Shake it out. Really nice job. Couple shoulder rolls. Why don't we do a quick half vinyasa here? Again, just to kind of clear our palate. So on your next inhale, bring your arms up, high prayer. Exhale, fold through heart center, bend your knees. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to your shins, upper body parallel with the ground. On your next exhale, fold, bend your knees. Keep your knees bent, inhale, stand, high prayer. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes for a second. Deep breath. Blink your eyes open. And from this position, step back with your left leg. And this time, we want our feet to be perpendicular. So my right toes are pointing straight forward. My left toes are perpendicular to that. If I were to draw a line from my heel all the way back, it would hit my left foot at the arch. We're going to move into warrior two. So float your arms up parallel with the ground. Then bend your right knee over your right ankle. Now the same idea applies here, meaning the further apart your feet are, the deeper the lunge and the more intense it becomes. So give yourself a second to experiment what feels right to you today. The awesome part about warrior two is it's really easy to take a break. So when you need that, all you have to do is straighten your front leg, let your arms relax, and then you can rejoin whenever you're ready. So your fingers are bright. Look through your right middle finger. This is a power stance, so it's awesome for toning and strengthening your legs, even your core. You might even feel it in your arms from holding. One more breath here if you can. Lovely. Now straighten your front leg. Reach back, right bicep by your right ear. Look down at the ground or up at the ceiling, whatever feels best on your neck. And if it would feel good to not have this arm floating, you can bring your hand to your left ear to kind of anchor it. One more breath here, getting a nice side stretch. And then on an exhale, belly button to your spine, really slowly and gently circle your way out of this. Float your arms up again. One more round of warrior two on the right side, so bend your right knee over your right ankle. Good. Now remember, if you need a break, you just straighten your front leg. If you don't need a break, and in fact would like a bit more of a challenge, we're going to move into side angle. So if you're up for that, inhale, reach forward. Exhale, bring your elbow to your thigh. Left hand right above your shoulder. Now the key here is you don't want to sink into your shoulder. So in all yoga and Pilates moves, we're always trying to create space between our shoulders and our ears. Gently twist your chest towards the sky. Hold here if you can for one more strong breath. And before you move, Engage your abs. Use an inhale to come up slowly back to warrior two if possible. Hold in the lunge if you can for one more breath. And then straighten your front leg. Let your arms relax. Really nice job. Turn your right toes so they're now parallel with your left toes. Actually, I misspoke. We're going to change both of our feet position because we're going to do horse pose before we switch to the left side. So with horse pose, your feet are actually going out at an angle at about a 45-degree angle, away from each other. You have a wide stance, hands at heart center. Inhale to prep, and then exhale, bend your knees, come down. Inhale up, exhale down. So it's kind of like a plie. And the key with this one is you want to pretend like your back is sliding up and down an imaginary wall. So you don't want to start to hinge forward like this. If you find that happening, then don't go down quite as far. So you're only going down as far as you can keep your back straight. Nice. Now you can continue going up and down like this. You can always just take a break when you need it. If you want a bigger challenge, then stay down, hold. So regardless of what you're doing, shoulders are heavy away from your ears. Belly button is zipping like you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans. 2 more breaths if you can. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose or your mouth. Nice. Inhale through your nose. 1 more exhale. Awesome. Stand and rest. Shake it out a little bit. Good, good. We're going to do our Warrior 2 series on our left leg. So to prepare for that, turn your left toes now so your foot is parallel with the long side of your mat. Turn your right foot so it's parallel with the short part of your mat. Heel to arch alignment. And remember, the longer your stance, the more challenging this will be. The shorter your stance, the easier it will be. So decide where you want to start. Float your arms up. Bend your left knee over your left ankle. Good. Breathe. When and if you need a break, you straighten your front leg. Release your arm position. Re-lunge when you're ready to come back. Now a couple key things here. First, look down at your left foot. Make sure you can see your left toe. Big toe, I should say. If you can't, what's happening is your knee is caving in. We don't want that to happen. So always have your knee track out towards your pinky toe, not towards your big toe. And speaking of pinky toes, see if you can push through the pinky toe side of your back foot. It's going to lengthen this leg as we hold in the lunge. 1 more breath in Warrior 2, if possible. Awesome. Straighten your front leg. Reach your left arm back. Left bicep by your left ear. Your left arm can stay straight, or if it feels better to anchor it, grab your right ear. And then be mindful of your neck. What feels best, looking down at the ground or up at the sky? Keep breathing. Before you even think about moving, make sure your belly button is anchored to your spine to protect your back. Then use an exhale to gently circle yourself out of this pose. Float your arms up parallel with the ground. Bright fingers like a big star. Re-lunge, Warrior 2. Left knee over your left ankle. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your nose or your mouth. You have the option now to take a break, to continue to hold in Warrior 2, or to join me moving into side angle. If you'd like to do side angle, use your next inhale to reach forward with your left arm. Then bring your elbow to your knee. Right hand above your shoulder. And then once again, check in with this. It's likely that you're going to want to scrunch down like this, but instead strong shoulders, strong upper body. Gently twist your chest towards the sky. Beautiful. One more breath in side angle if possible. Then get your core fired up. Use the strength of your core and an inhale to slowly come up. One more breath in the lunge if possible, otherwise straighten your front leg. Nice. Drop your arms. Turn your feet out into that horse position. Before we do horse, just take a sec to relax. Really nice job with that series. One more round of horse pose. So again, feet are out, pointed away from each other, 45-degree angle, hands at heart center. Inhale to prep. Exhale, bend and come down. Maybe you just do come down a few inches and then up. Or for a bigger challenge, you really make your way into this pose. Remember, the key here is to keep your upper body perpendicular to the floor. So you're not hunching forward at all, but it's like your back is sliding up and down an imaginary wall. Another key, as you go down, have your belly button zip up. So you're keeping your back safe as you're doing this exercise. Continue like this, moving. Take a break if you need it. Or, for a bigger challenge, come down and hold. Breathe. Nice job. Shoulders are heavy. Core is strong. One more breath here. Awesome. Stand up slowly. Then toe heel your feet together. And shake it out. Really good job. Feels good, doesn't it? That's the cool thing about power yoga, which is what we're doing here. It's that as you're doing these power stances, you're getting your heart rate up, you're toning and strengthening, but you're also doing a lot of lengthening and flexibility work. So you're killing a lot of birds with one stone. Okay, we've got two more things to do. Tree pose, a balancing pose, and then we're going to do a seated stretch to finish up. So with tree pose, you're going to start with your hands at heart center. So again, that means palms together, thumbs at your sternum. And I'd like to start with kickstanding our left toe up. That means my left toes are touching the ground, my heel is on my right ankle. So this is a great place to start with tree pose. If you're still having trouble holding here, then bring your arms out to a T. It's going to help you balance. If you feel like you're going to fall, of course, you just bring both feet down. If, on the other hand, you'd like a bigger challenge, then start to bring your left foot up your leg. You can rest it on your calf or your inner thigh. Please do not rest it on your knee, though. We don't want to jeopardize that joint. If you're looking for an even bigger challenge, try closing your eyes. If you fall out, then you should never do yoga again. I'm just kidding. Falling out of balance poses, it's part of the process. So it just means that you're kind of pushing your limit, which is awesome. So if you fall out, just come back, retry. So you're either closing your eyes for a big challenge or you're focusing your eyes on something that's not moving to help you balance. One more breath on this side. Lovely. Drop your left foot down, shake it out. Good job. Other side. So your left foot is grounded. Bring your right heel to your left ankle. Your right toes are still touching the ground to start. Experiment with your arms either at heart center or out to a T to help you balance. Also check in with your left foot. What my body has a tendency to do is to roll out to the outside of my left foot. And what you want to do is make sure all four corners of your feet stay grounded equally. What that's going to do is strengthen the arches of your feet and your inner thigh. If you need a bigger challenge, bring your right foot to your calf or your thigh. Still check in with your foot. Make sure the big toe side of your left foot stays gently pushing into the ground. Close your eyes if you still need a challenge. And then be kind to yourself. Falling out of a balanced pose is part of the process of one day, someday not falling out. Shoulders are heavy. Core is strong, zipping up. One final breath. Awesome, both feet down. Shake it out. Maybe you want to roll your wrists a few times. Really nice job. All right, our final pose or exercise for today is a seated hip stretch. So either head to your couch or grab a chair. And then sit at the edge of your couch or your chair. And we're going to move into seated pigeon. So for this one, bring your right ankle to your left thigh. Gently flex your right toes and sit up as tall as you can in this position. You might find that simply doing this is a big enough stretch for you. And if that's the case, then I want you to hold here and just breathe deeply. This is exactly where you need to be if you're feeling some intensity with this stretch. On the other hand, if you need more intensity, then hinge forward. So you're trying to keep your back as straight as you can. You're hinging as far forward as you can handle. So you want to feel a little bit of discomfort with this one. Some pulling, some aching, some burning. But you don't want to feel any pain. So just know that the more you hinge forward, the more intense this becomes. Although we're stretching here, we can still keep parts of our body engaged in order to stay safe. So that's why we're, number one, flexing our toes. That just gently engages the leg so we don't stretch too far for our own good. Another thing to do, as always, is belly button to your spine, shoulders down. That's just a good rule of thumb for pretty much any yoga or Pilates exercise. Are your shoulders away from your ears? Is your belly button pulled towards your spine? That's going to be a great way to stay in the proper position and keep yourself safe. So if you're a bit uncomfortable here, you're doing it right. Take a couple more deep breaths. This particular pose is awesome to do throughout the day if you're watching TV or at your desk. It's a great way to help not only keep your hips healthy, but when your hips are loose and healthy, that helps your knees a ton and your lower back. One final breath here. Then use an inhale and the strength of your core to come up slowly once you finish that breath. Nice. We're going to switch right to the other side. Left ankle to your right thigh. Flex your toes gently. Sit up tall. See how this side feels. It's quite possible that this side feels very different, either much looser or much tighter. Oftentimes our body is a bit out of balance from one side to the other. So instead of assuming you're going to do the exact same thing you did on the other side, on this side, take a little time to experiment. If you need a bigger stretch, hinge forward. And remember, the further forward you hinge, the more intense the stretch becomes. Check in with your belly button. Check in with your shoulders. And then bring your attention to your breath. See how long and how slowly you can make your inhales and your exhales. So if it would be helpful, go ahead and breathe along with me here. A long, slow inhale through your nose. A long, slow exhale through your nose or your mouth. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Relax your face. 1 final breath in this position. Inhale. Exhale. Really nice job. Use an inhale to come up really slow. Both feet to the ground. Do a couple big shoulder rolls. And then close your eyes for a second. Bring your palms to the top of your thighs. This palm position can just help ground and focus you before you move on to the rest of your day. So if you have a lot of work to do today, let's just take a couple breaths together here so you feel focused before moving on to that. A big inhale through your nose. Once again, eyes are closed. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. 1 final breath. Inhale. And a big exhale. Then blink your eyes open. Really nice job today.
Thanks so much for tuning in. If you found this content helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. Also, if you're wondering how to become healthier, I've created a free masterclass for you that is truly your ultimate wellness guide. It's called Fit and Fabulous for Life, 7 secrets that'll help you find your healthy living sweet spot. If you're intrigued, you should see a link to it on your screen now. You'll also find a link to it in the description box of this video. Thanks again for tuning into this video, and I hope you'll consider checking out my free Fit and Fab Masterclass.